Welcome back, guys. In the final segment, I'm not only joined by Steve Stars, but I'm also joined by my good friend Bob Tuscan, who is the person responsible, as I said in the first segment, for actually bringing the whole AIDS, HIV fraud thing to my attention. I had no idea about this. I had just assumed it was some sort of mass kill-off virus created by the government, but I actually had no idea about the true nature of it. So I want to thank Bob for, opening my eyes to this issue. And that's why
I want to thank Steve for opening my eyes, because Steve and his film HIV Equals AIDS has saved lives. I was never falsely diagnosed with this fake virus that then kills you from all the medication and all the other stuff that you have wrong with you. But Steve has worked with people who were told they had HIV, which is a death sentence, essentially. And because of his information, because of his film, we would do shows, Steve, people would call us up, you saved my life, your film saved my life. And literally, it has saved lives to bring awareness on this issue. Now, we can bring awareness to issues like false flag terrorism and whatnot, but it doesn't necessarily actively, currently, still, you know what I mean? It's not saving lives currently. I guess it's saving lives from future attacks, but this event, this issue of AIDS is something that remains, and on a daily basis, people are being supposedly diagnosed with HIV. And the way they do it with the blood donation. They do it when you go to get any sort of test. Your doctor will tell you, have you got an HIV test? And you may not think twice about it. You say no. But the second you get that test and you're in that system, you're screwed for life.
Yep, you really are. Yeah, Bob, we have had a lot of people that we've worked with. And you guys are doing a great job, too, because, indirectly we are all working together and fighting the same enemy. Whether you're aware of what happened on 9/11, whether you're fighting the banksters, whether you're against the war, whether you're, the political assassinations we've talked about. It's the same people, but they're a multi-headed beast is what they really are. In this case, we're dealing with the pharmaceutical, the pharmakeia sorcery of Babylon, if you like. I mean, this is how big it is, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. And we have saved lives. But, right before the break, we talked about some of the people that we've known, Bob, like Carrie Stokely and some of the others that we've had on. And you can go back to their families today, and you can say, are you still, in the position of believing that HIV is a fraud? And they'll say, absolutely. And we know now that the death that we had in our family is being used and put into the win category for HIV AIDS industry. The AIDS industry is saying, we want another one. Look, another person is dead. They celebrate every time somebody dies. It's important for them. They need dead people. They need dead babies. They need pictures. They need to scare the hell out of you, because if you're not scared and you're not funding this, they have three basic approaches that they go at this, guys. The first one is they scare the hell out of you. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Then they light candles and they stand around quilts and cry, and they want to put their arms around you and hug you. Here's a red ribbon. We're fighting. And then the third one is, we're making progress, but we're not there yet. So it's going to take more money, more billions and more billions. This is a broken record. It's been going on since 1984, and it's not going to stop. I thought it'd be dead in 2011. One thing I should bring up too, though, is Joan Shenton has done a lot of great films too, and you had her on your show as well, Bob. Joan Shenton is a remarkable lady with the BBC and Meditel, who began to explore this whole thing back. She's made several great films. Joan Shenton, Shenton.
Yeah, check out the World AIDS Fraud Day special we did, where we had her on, Robert Scott Bell, Liam Sheff. So many great people have come out on this issue. And there's other people in the alternative media, and I won't say too much, but there's people out there amongst us that are pushing the fear of this infectious virus myth. And it's unfortunate, because that is playing into the hands of this agenda here with the AIDS big business. Gary Null, of course. Did you mention, Steve, I only caught bits and pieces of tonight's show. Did you mention the fact that we had G. Edward Griffin come on my show several times now and talk about his position, which is very much in line with what we've been saying today?
Yeah, G. Edward Griffin. Mike Adams has been a real trooper. Mike Adams, the health ranger, if you guys know him, he's on our side. Thank God we're finally starting to get people like Popeye and you, Bob, and so many others out there that are waking up to what's really going on. It's not this fear propaganda of some germ created by a scientist in a laboratory. No, it's all a fraud that operates under the disguise of it being an infectious disease.
See, that's the stupid thing I thought, Steve. Yeah. I thought it was some germ created by some scientist. I never bought the whole "it came from having sex with monkeys" theory. Yeah. I never bought into that at all. But then there was, it was made by the government in the lab. Well, that actually sounds more plausible because they do make bioweapons. But here you come to find out it's mainly fear. It's mostly it's propaganda and fear. Poisoning by chemicals, malnutrition.
Yeah, it's so obvious when you look at the latency of it. I mean, germs cause disease within about 2 or 3 weeks from exposure. I mean, when was the last time you caught a cold because you were in the sandbox with Johnny 15 years ago? I mean, duh. It's amazing people don't get this. Germs work in about 5 to 6 weeks. A retrovirus's life, like HIV, is about 3 to 4 weeks. If you have antibodies, by that time, the germ is not going to do anything. Germs don't take 30 years to cause a disease. Hello. I mean, now there are slow germs such as, there are various forms of herpes that reignite, and those are situations that are a little bit different, but you can find very active viremia. The big problem that we have with HIV is there's never been any active viremia that we've been able. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people said it's never really been properly isolated or never actually been isolated. Good arguments there. I have never taken a side on the isolation argument because both sides are good. The key thing that people need to realize, though, is HIV is not the cause of AIDS. It is absolutely not. You can rule it out. It doesn't work in women. The virus was evenly spread among both sexes in 1985. Okay, what does that mean? It should mean that 50% of all the AIDS patients are male. 50% of all the AIDS patients would be female. It's evenly spread. But yet, we find that 90% of the AIDS patients are male. And they're primarily IV drug users and gay men. Among the 10%, the very small percentage of women with HIV and AIDS, we find that 70% of them are IV drug users. Okay, so there's your situation. It's always been drugs. It's always been demographics. It went into hiding. Just so much there, Let me, really quickly, Popeye, if you don't mind, let me just let folks know about our website. If they want to go there, you can watch the video for free. Go to AIDSfraudvideo.com. AIDSfraudvideo.com. And you can even just Google AIDS fraud and it comes up. You can watch our film for free. There's a very long version on the left. If you clicked on that, it's about 2 hours. We'll cover everything. There's a short 20-minute teaser if you don't have time and patience. If you want to get a DVD, I'm sending those out along with a copy of 9/11. You can help us out. That'll help us if you like. But if you don't have the money, please just watch the film anyway. You're very welcome to get informed with all this. That's what we need you to do the most. If you want to help us out, go to AIDS Fraud Video. That's one thing that we're doing. We're getting this information out. You have my permission to copy that video, by the way, and get it out to other people, because what we really need is awareness more than anything on this whole deal.
Well, there you go. You have permission from the filmmaker himself to copy it and give it out for free. What more can you ask for? So at least support him. Get a DVD copy from him. It's not that much. And then Steve's telling you go out and make hundreds and thousands of copies and hand it out.
We've had people do that, too. I mean, in Africa, I've had one guy said, listen, we've got to get this out to people in Africa. We have made some very big changes there. The president of South Africa himself, President Thabo Mbeki, stood up against the entire AIDS industry. And he had the CIA and people like that coming in and down on his case because they're trying to implement this whole thing across Africa. And he invited our experts, David Rasnick, Charles Geschecter, Peter Duisberg, so many others, to come to a board and to meet with these people and say, okay, let's discuss this issue because we cannot fool around with 10% of the population. If this thing is for real, we got to figure it out. But if it's not, we got to know too. You know what these people did? These arrogant blankety blanks did. They walked away from the table and they issued a proclamation that says HIV is the cause of AIDS. And you know why? Because we say so. That's what they did. This is the kind of science that you're not science, but this is kind of
that's the same kind of retarded thinking that goes into global warming.
Yeah,
it
really is. And you can go to rethinkingaids.com, which is a combination of our group. We have now 300 physicians, believe it or not, 300 doctors. Dr. Geraldo Rivera. It's not Rivera. No, we have some. I'm trying to think of Dr. Geraldo's last name. We have a number of different people, scientists and doctors. I mean, PhDs. We have 2,800 people. We're like, if you notice Richard Gage's organization, AE 9/11 Truth, where he's got 1,500 architects and engineers. We're doing the same thing. We've been around a little longer. We have 2,800 people who are on this side now. So go to rethinkingaids.com if you want to check that out. But it's all we're helping people the best we can, and I really appreciate it, Popeye. You always do a great show, and Bob, the work you guys have been doing. I want to thank all the other people out there working on this as well, because we've got to fight this, friends. We can't not let the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry go off. I mean, this has been a
thank you for putting all this information together, doing your movie, coming on my show, talking about this stuff. You're not gaining anything personally from this, so really. I appreciate it.
But it sure is good to hear people say that we appreciate their work. That's my reward. People say you saved my life. That's amazing.
That's exactly what it's all about. Thank you for coming on the show today, Steve. Bob, thanks for popping in. Guys, it's been a great show. Don't forget to go check out Joe Joseph's show coming up right now on the Orion Talk Radio Network. Go check him out. Brand new show.
The Freedom Link Radio with Joe Joseph coming up next.